No Recipe Required. I'm Dave, and tonight I've got a chicken recipe that you're gonna love. We're gonna sear off the chicken and cook it to absolute perfection, of course. And then our sauce is gonna be mushroom and tarragon, which are two ingredients that I find phenomenally go together. We're gonna cook them off, kind of make a little bit of a sauce for the chicken, and it's absolutely wonderful. Let's go ahead and get started. Time to make our roast chicken with tarragon and mushrooms. Now, I'm going to use some chicken breasts with the bone in, but there's no reason you can't do the same dish with a whole chicken or with just boneless, skinless breasts. I'm going to go in, skin side down, with some salted and peppered or seasoned chicken breasts, and I'm just going to, right on the stove top, let that skin brown and get nice and caramelized for probably 7 minutes over medium heat. Okay, so you're looking for that good amount of sizzling and cracking because you want to get the skin side of the chicken nicely brown. We're going to flip it over and let it go for another 7 or 8 minutes. So I just turned my chicken over, and right to the pan, before I put it in the oven, I'm going to add my mushrooms and just kind of try and tuck them in there so they get down into the bottom of the pan. And we're just going to let these mushrooms roast off with the chicken in the oven. Okay, so after 5 or 6 minutes on the second side, I'm just going to slip this into a 375 degree oven. It'll probably take about 45 minutes to an hour. You want an internal temperature of at least 160. Okay, so I got my chicken out of the oven, just pulled it out. Want to get the temperature up to like 160, between 160 and 165. I just turned my heat back on. I'm going to pull the chicken out, and we're going to start working on our mushrooms and tarragon sauce. Okay, a whole lot of moisture came out of our mushrooms. Actually, almost all that liquid, believe it or not, is from the mushrooms. A little bit of chicken juice, or jus, in there as well. But I'm just going to cook it over kind of high heat and let almost all of that evaporate. Mushrooms will soften up just a little bit more and get cooked a little bit more and get nice and tender. Okay, so most of the water has evaporated out of our mushrooms. I'm starting to get nice crystallization at the bottom of the pan. And now, because the water's evaporated, I can consolidate essentially the grease or the fat from the chicken, from the olive oil that we put in there. I'm just going to drain that out, and then we're going to come back and deglaze with a little white wine. So I got some white wine here. I happen to be using a Chardonnay, but you can use almost anything you want. That's maybe a quarter cup, just enough to coat the bottom by a little bit, and then I'm going to scrape up all those bits and then reduce the wine by half. Now that my wine's reduced, I'm going to add about an equal amount of chicken stock as I did wine, and I'm going to let this reduce down again by about half. Okay, after our stock reduces down, you want to make sure you want to give it a little taste for salt and pepper. And this one's pretty good. You could use a touch of pepper, actually. That was a little salt, a little pepper. We're going to finish it off with a nice handful, half handful, of tarragon. I'm going to stir that in. And then I've got some cornstarch mixed with the wine that we used, just a little bit more. I'm just going to add that in to thicken the sauce a little bit. And you want to make sure you bring it or continue it up to the boil. If you ever do what I just did and actually over reduce a little bit, it's not a problem. Just grab grab your chicken stock, or you can even grab a little water and just add a little bit more in, and it will thin it right out. There we go. And then I'm going to kill the heat. I'm going to add just a little bit of butter for the richness. Stir that in, and we're good to go with our sauce. Okay, so I just took our chicken breast off the bone. You want to give it maybe a couple nice slices before we plate it. I've got our plate here. We'll slide our chicken over and then come right around with our sauce. This beautiful mushroom and tarragon sauce. You can certainly, go right over it, drizzle around, and then I'm serving mine with a little mashed potato which is a beautiful little side. And there we go with a mushroom tarragon roast chicken. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.